Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, he's peeled off more prices than a family of shoplifters. From Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hey there, Amazon sellers. My name is Jordan Malik. I'm your host of the Ask Jordan podcast. Thank you so much for listening. It is 107th episode. We've been doing this since March of 2014. I appreciate your listenership so much. Thank you. You have many choices of what to listen to, and you chose me, and I'm honored. I do not take you for granted. I am extremely pleased that you're joining me today. This is the podcast, if you're listening for the first time, welcome, where we answer only your questions about selling on Amazon. Every episode, we answer a different question from you, the listener, about selling on Amazon. If you miss an episode, hey, that's all right. Go to askjordan.net. Askjordan.net has our recent episodes there. There's a link to our archived episodes. And if you think that you've submitted a question to me and I've blown you off, you can always send me an email. I do read all emails and answer 99% of them. Head over to askjordan.net. Look for the little envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner. You can send me an email. If you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free, I'm going to tell you how to do that after we answer today's question. A little bit of housekeeping before we answer today's question. Many of you are starting out on Amazon, or you're beginner, you're intermediate, or maybe you want to explore expanding your business. I have a free ebook for you. It's called Amazon Seller Courses Reviewed, the Best of 2016. It includes a bonus section on private label, a lot of hype around private label. But no matter where you are in your Amazon business, you might want to check out this free ebook. It reviews the best training out there. Some of the training is free. Some of the other training is inexpensive or moderately priced. Nothing outrageous there. I review the best. It's in my free ebook, jordanmalik.com/ASM. I'll leave the link in the show notes, jordanmalik.com/A as in apple, S as in super, M as in motor, jordanmalik.com/ASM. Your free ebook, free download, no catch, explains the best, and it's all been updated for 2015/2016. If you're interested in expanding your Amazon business, or you want to just get started, you want a reliable, proven course that you can learn from, or proven training to grow your business, everything is reviewed right there in that ebook. Today's question is from, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Yolanda Piper. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Hi, Jordan. My name is Yolanda Piper. I'm a big fan of your podcast. I recently had an issue where after presenting my sales tax license at a local retailer, I was denied the purchase that I was trying to make. I was wondering if you have had any similar reactions with being an Amazon seller and how you've handled this. I'm wondering whether it is detrimental at this point to use my sales tax exemption in some of the stores. Thank you, Jordan, so much for all your help. I really appreciate it.
Yolanda, great question, and I appreciate you asking that. Okay, so what Yolanda is referring to is that many businesses who buy goods, whether they're buying online or buying locally, when they're buying goods to resell, technically the end consumer is going to be paying tax on that in many cases. So if you're a business, let's just back up for a little bit. Let's say I wanted to buy inventory locally at Walmart. And I went into Walmart and I found 20 lunch boxes, Ninja Turtle lunch boxes that I was going to buy with the focus on reselling them on Amazon. I can present to the cashier, and this varies a little bit by state. I'm sure some states have no sales tax. I can present to the cashier my form. I forget what it's called in New York, but it's basically kind of like a reseller tax ID form that I present to her, and that lets her know that I am a business licensed in New York who's buying goods to resell, and therefore I do not have to pay sales tax on that purchase. And of course, when you do that, make sure that you truly are doing that. You can't go and buy computer equipment for your office that you're going to use and then produce this certificate that prevents you from paying sales tax. That would be illegal. You have to be buying goods that you are intending to resell. And if you Google, let's say you live in Georgia, so you do a Google search for, Georgia reseller certificate or reseller ID or reseller tax ID. There is a great manual that you can buy that kind of walks you through this process. It's by Deborah Conrad. I don't know the link off the top of my head, but I am going to include it in the show notes. That is the same guide that I purchased, where I learned about what is this whole thing about avoiding paying sales tax and how can I legally do it. Yolanda looks like has a situation that, yes, I've run into before, where You go into a store and you bring the merchandise up to the register, and the lady at the register refuses to accept your sales tax ID with the objective where you were trying to buy the products with no sales tax. The sales tax in New York, where I am, is like 8.675%, and they refuse your tax form. So yes, that can happen, and the store has the right to do that. The store also has the right to not sell you the merchandise at all. They can legally, from my knowledge anyway, at least in New York, they can say to you, we're not going to sell anything to you because we don't allow resellers, right? So let's see, Target, for instance, no longer allows, or they have the right to refuse, I think. They have the right to refuse either your sales tax ID or right to refuse your purchase overall. I forget, it's one of the two. But they just implemented a policy because there was such an influx of sellers from Amazon going into Target and buying products that they no longer honor your sales tax exemption, meaning they no longer allow you to produce the certificate that says you're buying for the purpose of reselling. Now, how much they enforce that, I do not know. Maybe your Target store is different. Kohl's, Kohls, is a huge department store. They were getting such an influx of people buying from Amazon that they restrict overall. Now, I don't know how they can tell that you're buying to resell. I suppose if you go in there and you pick up 100 lunch boxes that then bring to the counter, they can say, we don't sell to resellers. We're not selling you this. But they are another entity that will not allow a sales tax certificate, reseller ID, or reseller tax form where you can produce that to not pay sales tax. Most stores, I think, are okay with it because they want to make the sale. But there's some, silly little corporate policies here and there where they get very nervous about Amazon sellers coming in and snapping up all their goods and reselling them for a higher price. Yolanda, I'm curious if you could have made the purchase anyway without the sales certificate. Could you have gone in and bought the goods and paid the sales tax? Did they refuse your purchase overall, which they can do? Or did they refuse the reseller certificate that you wanted to produce to avoid paying sales tax? In either case, let's say they did both. Let's say they refused you from buying, or refused to let you buy any goods, period, and refused, obviously, to let you use your sales tax certificate, reseller certificate, you just go on to another store. I rarely see this anymore, but occasionally you see somebody online who's having a cow, I guess, because some store rejected them. This tends to happen every now and then in a Goodwill store. They'll kick somebody out. They see how they have like the scanner, like the iPhone out scanning barcodes, and they kick them out of the store. It rarely happens when it does. And my answer to those folks that you get kicked out or refuse to buy in a store, my answer is just go somewhere else, because there's so many places that will take your business. Don't let one bad experience taint your perception of finding products locally. Many of these just come from corporate policies because corporations are trying to stop free enterprise. They hate it. Walmart, I think, is the opposite. Walmart will take anybody and welcome one and welcome all. And I've never heard of a Walmart employee challenging, or a Walmart policy challenging, a reseller or reseller certificate or reseller activity within the store. The stores that restrict people like that are going to end up losing. You cannot fight that. That's, they put these little silly corporate policies in place, and then they end up not getting enforced because you just can't fight it. So Alonda, my suggestion would go, yes, I've encountered that before. We just keep moving. Go to a different store. Yolanda gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. Yolanda, just go to askjordan.net, click on the small envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner of the page, send me an email so I know where to send your ebooks to. And if you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all my best-selling ebooks like Yolanda, call 516-619-ONLINE. That's 516-619-6654. You don't talk to anybody live. You simply leave a message there with your question, or go to askjordan.net, scroll down, look for the directions on submitting your question. Hey, thanks again for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan podcast. I'll see you again in our next episode.